The Anunnaki, myths and modern mysteries, long before recorded history, before empires, before kings. Ancient texts spoke of beings who descended from the heavens. They were called the Anunnaki, powerful figures who shaped humanity's earliest myths. Were they gods, symbols of nature, or something far more mysterious? Thousands of years ago, the Sumerians wrote of gods who came from the sky, ruled the earth, and decided the fate of mankind. Today, some believe these stories describe advanced visitors from another world. Others say they are misunderstood myths. So, what is the truth? 1. The birth of the Anunnaki. The story of the Anunnaki begins in ancient Sumer, one of the world's first civilizations located in modern-day Iraq. Around 3000 BCE, the Sumerians developed writing, and with it, detailed accounts of their gods. The word Anunnaki roughly translates to those who came from heaven to earth. They were described as descendants of the sky god Anu, ruler of the heavens. Unlike later gods who were distant and unseen, the Anunnaki were deeply involved in human affairs. They governed cities, enforced laws, and controlled the forces of nature. 2. The great gods of the Anunnaki. Among the Anunnaki were powerful figures, each with a specific role. Anu, the supreme sky god and authority over divine order. Enlil, god of air and storms, often portrayed as strict and unforgiving. Enki, god of wisdom, water, and creation, known as humanity's protector. Inanna, goddess of love, fertility, and war, one of the most complex deities of the ancient world. These were not simple gods of worship. They argued, punished, forgave, and even feared one another, behaving in ways strikingly human. 3. Creation of humanity. One of the most controversial Anunnaki stories involves the creation of humans. According to Sumerian texts, the lesser gods were tired of laboring on Earth. Enki proposed a solution: create a new being to work in their place. Clay tablets describe humans being formed from clay mixed with divine essence. To ancient people, this symbolized life itself. To modern theorists, however, this story sounds eerily like genetic engineering. 4. The Great Flood, one of the most famous Anunnaki legends, mirrors the biblical story of Noah. In the Epic of Gilgamesh, the gods decide to wipe out humanity with a great flood. But Enki secretly warns a man named Utnapishtim, instructing him to build a massive boat. After the flood destroys civilization, Utnapishtim survives, just as Noah does in the Bible. The similarities between these ancient stories raise an unsettling question: were they based on a real catastrophic event? 5. Ancient astronaut theory. In the 20th century, a new interpretation emerged: the ancient astronaut theory. Some researchers suggest that Anunnaki were not gods, but advanced extraterrestrial beings who visited Earth in antiquity. Supporters point to descriptions of flying chariots, divine weapons, and knowledge far ahead of its time. Critics argue these interpretations ignore historical context and symbolism, turning myth into science fiction. 6. What scholars say. Mainstream historians and archaeologists see the Anunnaki as mythological figures, not literal beings. They explain these stories as humanity's attempt to understand nature, power, and existence itself. Flood myths, they argue, likely came from real regional disasters remembered through generations. 7. Why the Anunnaki still fascinate us. The Anunnaki endure because they sit at the crossroads of myth, history, and imagination. They remind us that humanity has always looked to the skies, searching for meaning, creators, and answers. Conclusion: were the Anunnaki gods, symbols, or visitors from the stars? The truth may never be fully known, but their stories, carved into stone thousands of years ago, continue to shape how we see our past and question our origins. Sometimes the greatest mysteries are not about what we believe, but why we believe them. If you enjoyed this documentary, Subscribe to EchoVerse for a more deep dive into ancient mysteries, lost civilizations, and unexplained history.